Hi, and welcome to Baking with Chris. Today, we're going to make one of my all-time favorites, pizza. It's also one of the most favorite things people love to eat in the United States, so that's good. My friend George told me I forgot to introduce myself in the last video, so let me introduce myself. My name is Chris. I live in Los Angeles. I've been baking at home for about 40 years, and I own a small bakery, but it's something I really love, and I love to share it with people, so let's just have some fun. We're going to get started, and pizza takes a little bit longer than you might expect. The dough takes overnight, so set aside a little bit of time if you're going to make some pizza. First of all, we start with our bread flour, we talked about before, and then we have our Durum flour. And Durum flour also sometimes is 00 flour. Italian, it's a softer wheat, and it's something that really helps bring out the flavor and make the pizza dough a lot nicer. So we're going to mix our two doughs together right here. Our two flours, together. And we're going to pour in our yeast. I have the recipe. I'll put it up. And we're going to mix it together like we always do. Make sure the yeast, instant yeast, is really mixed in well. And then we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to take our water. Now water should be exactly 80 degrees. Exactly 80 degrees. And I'm going to measure this, and you can see here, this now says 77. It's a little less. It's going up because it's been sitting here while I'm filming. But it should be exactly 80 degrees. I'm going to chance it. Put our thermometer aside. We're going to mix that into our mixing bowl. Put the water first. Pour that in. And then, and I didn't get a spatula, so I need to get one of those. Start with a spatula. We're going to mix malted barley. Now this is something that adds a little bit of flavor, and there is some sugar in here, so that helps the yeast grow a little bit. But it is something that just a little bit, adds a nice depth to flavor. We're going to add our olive oil. And then we're going to whisk it up. So it's dissolved and the water is a little bit muddy looking. And then we just add in our flour, yeast mixture, and on top of that, we then pour in our salt. Now we're going to do it in the stand mixer today. Speed 2 for 4 minutes, and then speed 4 for 3 minutes. And it's going to be quite sticky, but that's great. Seven minutes have passed and our dough is ready to come out. I hope you like that little video. Now this is our dough here. You can see. Move this a little bit. And it's sticky. You can see it's a little bit sticky. That's fine. That's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it and put it in our really oiled bowl. So we're going to take our trusted bowl. This is a smaller bowl because it's a less of a recipe today, and we're going to oil this up. Now we're going to take oil on our hands a little bit, and we're going to take our dough out, and we're going to coat a little bit in oil around the dough, just so it's nice and oily, and we're going to put it in our plastic container, and we're going to, you see there, we're going to let it rise, and it's going to rise up close to the top of this. It's going to take about an hour. Our dough has risen. I hope you liked that time lapse. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it out and pre-shape it and let it ferment for about 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to take a little bit of flour, put it on my hands, take it out of here. It's a little sticky. You may want to flour your surface just a little bit, just so it doesn't stick. And then we're going to shape it like we do in our other videos. We pull it in, just, there it is, just nice, and pull it toward us just to give it a little bit of tension and create a little ball. And it's really quick. And then we're going to set that aside for 20 minutes to ferment and plop it in the bowl. And then I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap. And just let it relax and ferment. So I'll be back, and then we're going to divide the dough. I have to apologize to you. That was 30 minutes we let it rest, not 20. So it's been resting for 30 minutes. I'll pull it out here. And we're going to separate our dough into 3 pieces. Now, what we do is we take this and we fold it in on itself, make a nice ball like we do normally. You can roll it with your hands, or you can do what I do and like to pinch it together and tuck it toward you, create a little bit of tension. We're going to do that with all 3. So we've taken our pizza dough out of the refrigerator where it's been overnight, and we're going to let it come to room temperature. And while we do that, we can make our pizza sauce. Now I'm going to set these aside, and they should come to room temperature. It might take an hour, hour and a half, but it's going to take about an hour to make all of the pizza sauce. So let me set this aside. And we start by adding our olive oil right to our pan. And we're going to add our garlic, minced garlic, right to the olive oil. This is called sweating the garlic. And we're going to let it simmer just a little bit. Let it simmer until the garlic is translucent. Now that the garlic is translucent and it's been simmered a little bit, we're going to add directly into this our crushed tomatoes. Now I buy tomatoes in a can or a jar that are crushed. You can use fresh, but make sure you drain them before you use them because you don't want too much water in this. Add our pepper and add our salt directly to this, and then we're going to mix this around. And we're going to let it reduce for about 30 minutes on a medium to medium-low temperature. Now that it's nice and thick, we're going to add in our chopped rosemary. Now I have rosemary in my garden because I'm one of those people you hate. And so I've chopped up rosemary, and we're going to dump it in. Whoosh. And then we're going to mix it around and let it simmer for another 15 minutes so the flavor expands into it. And then we're going to put it on the pizza. Now that our pizza dough has risen to room temperature, we're going to take it out of our plastic wrap. First, we're going to spread some flour here because it's still a little bit sticky, and we want to make sure that it doesn't stick to anything. Now, we've separated our dough into 3 pieces because you don't really want to start with something really big. You got to work your way up with something smaller, and then after you're able to handle a few times something smaller, you can really go for the big stuff. But right now, we're going to try to get this into around a 12-inch pizza. We're going to push this in right there. Get a big into a round circle. We're going to flour the top, and then we're going to push it out to a circle, leaving a little bit of thicker areas around the edges. You want it to be thick around the edges. Now, I won't do this perfectly because I'm not super great at it, but this is the way it's done. We're going to look at this pizza dough as a clock. Now there is a 6 o'clock position and a 9 o'clock position. So this is 6, this is 9. And we start, we flip it over, and 6 will be at our wrist. And 9 will be always here with our hand. And we're going to take our 2 fingers here, and we're going to gently pull the dough from the center, gently as we hold it, and then flip it up into the 6 o'clock position, flip it back to the 9, 6, 9, 6, 9, 6, 9. Just keep doing 6, 9 over and over, and you will have a good experience. Here we have our, it's about a 12-inch pizza, and so we're going to put it onto the peel. Now the peel is what we use to put it in the oven, but if you don't have one, you can do it directly onto a baking sheet. That's fine, but we want to make sure that the peel is well floured and a little bit of cornmeal. But every portion that the pizza touches should have a little bit of flour or cornmeal on it. Otherwise, the pizza dough can stick to it, and we don't want that. Now, once you put the pizza dough onto the peel, you're going to have to work pretty quickly putting the toppings on and then putting it into the oven. Our pizza is ready to come out of the oven. I'm going to go grab it, I'm going to put it here, and then we're going to slice it and eat it. Here's our pizza. Might be slightly overbaked, but I like a really crisp crust. I don't like it floppy when it goes into my mouth. I cut it because I don't have a pizza cutter, so I cut it with my little 6-inch pastry cutter here. My friend Kellen calls it an 8-inch pastry cutter. So when you get a pizza, it should go straight. It shouldn't flop over. So that means it's good. It's well baked on the bottom, and it's hot, but I'm gonna take a bite. That is spectacular. I keep getting impressed with my own cooking, but the crust is really well done. You can see here, it's baked nicely on top, and as you open it, it's a nice crust on the inside. It's still very hot. It's perfection. Try this at home, let me know how it goes, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye bye.